Good morning, everybody. It's good to see y'all today.
Thank you.
Y'all can hear me. That's good. Carlotta, it's good to see you. Hello, Donna and Karen. Hey, Lori. Kelly, it's good to meet you. Hello. Hello, Jillian. Good to see you as well. Hmm. Happy Memorial Day in the United States. Um, Celebrating, honoring those who have served. Hello, Tara. Hi, Heather. And the word service.
Hello.
Hi, Tara. Um, the word service. I wonder what that conjures in you. Again, there's military service here, and we can say people who defended this country. Um, and we get different interpretations about that. But what if we also start interpreting the energy as a peacekeeping energy? There's so much talk in our communities about warriors, spiritual warriors, warriors for truth, warriors of light. Archangel Michael is a warrior to defend you and protect you. But what if the energy is really about peacekeeping? And in peacekeeping, you can take the Gandhi or the Martin Luther King route, right? The non-violence, to show up in a collective consciousness and to keep moving forward. But peacekeepers can also carry a sword of truth. It can hold very clear parameters for what is not allowed in reverence to the purity of a soul, to the innocence of a being. And how many of us wish that we grew up having more peacekeepers in our life that can hold up for us? Parents, brothers, sisters, teachers, mentors who really had the strength and the emotional intelligence to carry that peacekeeping authority, to demonstrate for us what that really looks like in its highest integrity. I remember growing up, elementary school and junior high school in New York, and we lived in a pretty unpredictable neighborhood. It was on the verge of barely being middle class, kind of, sorta. A lot of people living on welfare and getting checks and living in big apartment buildings. So there was a mix of all that where I grew up in New York, and my parents did a pretty good job about maintaining just a little bit more to kind of keep us a little more financially stable than a lot of the things that I witnessed. But growing up in that environment, also there was a lot of violence. We would hear, fights between spouses happening almost daily from different apartment buildings. If it wasn't happening in my own house, um, in that a lot of separation and people trying to belong. There's a lot of gangs in the area. Also, it was New York in the 1970s, and there was a different gang on every corner. The Irish gang here, the Dominican gang there, the Puerto Rican gang on this one. Um, and if you went to different neighborhoods, it would even get worse. And then there was the different affiliations in school of different kids, and there was a lot of bullying, um, and threats and intimidation that would get projected, um, to us as kids from other kids, and even teachers were afraid of these kids. Um, and I had cousins who were notoriously um, beautiful hearts, but bad news when it came to who they were affiliated with, um, and how well known they got it for their reputation of just being really badass and not no, oh my god, they were badass, they're so cool. And that was interpreted as that also, but as someone that you don't cross the line with or you're going to get really hurt. Um, and some of those cousins actually went on to serve jail time in some big penitentiaries. So again, they grew up on that trajectory. Long story short is that I remember in junior high school, kids starting to bully me, and I felt so bad for them, and I'd want them to stop because I was more afraid for them than I was for me, because if my cousins found out that these people were bullying me, the punishment that they would be put through would be horrendous. It's like it was easier for me to take a beating than it would be to witness their pain because I knew what was going to happen to them. And that's part of that peacekeeping or warrior energy also. Whenever a warrior would step in for me, something felt off. That harm can be caused to someone else to such a degree from that lower vibrational energy to get back at someone. The revenge thing. I'm going to hurt you worse than you hurt me. I'm going to hurt you so bad that you're going to be so afraid to ever mess with me again. And if you feel into that energy, it carries a lower vibrational tone to it. Hey, Julie, it's good to see you. It carries a lower vibrational, empathic awareness. But if you feel into that peacekeeping energy, you can feel that there's something different that's running the show. There's a higher octave of holding a space and being so clear on it that it alchemizes with different potentials than the warrior energy. The warrior energy never ended what was happening. It never really found a solution other than looking for something to acquiesce the essence of who they be truly in fear and shame because they weren't the alpha anymore, because they didn't live up to a persona. Um, the peacekeeping energy really invited in something different. And it held the door open for the potential of a diplomacy to merge into a unification that something different can be created rather than separation. And so, again, on this Memorial Day, I want to honor the service of those who have been peacekeeping. I want to honor everyone around the world who's taken on that role to help, to hold a keen awareness of standards that we are to live by as humanity so that we all thrive. Because in this world, we will not be finished healing until everybody is finished healing. It just won't happen. And so to hold an awareness, to hold a perspective, to come back into consciousness in your lives and to discern, is there somewhere where I am warrioring against something? Or is there somewhere that I can really step in and am I bringing on that peacekeeping consciousness? And y'all have been peacekeeping in your own rights. Maybe you wouldn't phrase it that way, but you've been doing it for a long time as you've gone into the depths of some of your shadow aspects, into limiting beliefs that were inherited or passed down. And you've stepped in and say, there's a different way of doing this. There's a different possibility. And you've probably wavered in and out between warring against something that you didn't want to experience anymore. I would need to find out that somehow it would loop back, maybe in a different tone or resonance, but still the looping would happen and you'd recognize it and you'd work on it again. Forgiveness with our parents is a big one. I thought I was done forgiving. I thought I thought I had done that process already. I cried and I screamed and I had this and it was cathartic for me. And I saw God or my angels at the end of that session or process. But that was the doorway into cracking through into the light or where that peacekeeping energy could truly come in. So again, reflect on your lives, reflect on situations. If there's anywhere where there's still agitation with another, if there's judgment with even a public figure, where are you carrying the energy of war? And where are you illuminating the possibility of peace? And I would encourage you to choose peace over and over again. It's not passive, it's potent. You can hold the energy of peace and hold the sword of truth simultaneously. We get to hold steady in a pristine field and call it in and command it. That anything that is not of that has to go back to face itself for its own retribution. It cannot seek it through us. But at the same time, if we command that, we have to be the truth of what we say that we're holding in that light that has the capacity to push that energy back to its origin so that it can go through its own journey. So anywhere where we are a vibrational match for anything that's coming to us that is in alignment of who we want to be, we can also be in peace of what's coming to us because we can be grateful that is demonstrating to us that which we're still holding that we're ready to let go of, that we're ready to transmute into a new layer of consciousness, a new access to light quotient that we're ready to receive. So let's celebrate today, this Memorial Day, where you are in service to peace. The service that you have done, that you have sacrificed your time and energy to create something different for yourself, for your sons and daughters, for your family, for your loved ones, for your country, really for the world. We are opening borders, these invisible lines that have existed, that has caused separation because of cultural differences, languages, race, color. And we're realizing that there's something different. We are becoming global citizens I have a hard time saying that I'm from the US. I was in Bali for a month, right? Where are you from was a question that everybody asked the Balinese drivers or the shop owners or in the restaurant. Where are you from? Where are you from? Um, and I had a hard time saying I'm from the US, not because I have any shame with it, because it feels like yes, and I feel like I'm from so many other places simultaneously. The divides between us are really disintegrating. And in this country, they say that, or around the world, it's being talked about that this country, the United States, it's losing its authority and power. Um, it's giving up so much of its economic and military control to agreements that don't serve in a global perspective. But I truly believe it's because we're coming into a balance of power, whether these countries realize it or not, spiritually. We're unifying and we're unifying because of need. And isn't that typically the case? That's because we need something that we finally show up and we create something different. So is it a bad thing that things are shifting? That different places around the world are unifying against things that don't serve them anymore? It's an adjustment for sure. And it can be uncomfortable. And it can threaten what we believe our safety is, or what we've been taught that our safety is. But we've been sold that safety in different ways in our lifetime that really don't serve us anymore. We've been sold the propaganda of war and being of service for social economic reasons that don't really pertain to your life and my life on a daily basis, but that got us emotionally invested into patriotism, into separation, into us against them. And as we travel around the world, like many of you do, and I do as well, we find that the walls of separation really aren't there. Yeah, sure, there's language barriers, but my goodness, the hearts and souls and personalities of people from all over the world that I get to meet and how I'm received. I believe that illuminates more of the truth of just how united we are, how welcome we are when we're received, when we go to places that are considered strange or exotic. I find the strange and exotic is becoming less and less available because our hearts are opening to the awareness and the truth of just how beautifully we're all connected, how truly we all are one, having different experiences in our individual expression. And to be in service of that, not only for ourselves, but for others. What a beautiful act of awareness of the divinity, of the God spark that lives in every single soul on this planet. Do you all believe that that is true? That there's a God spark that lives in every soul on this planet? Yeah, I figured y'all would say yes in this group. Let's remember that next time we are being invited to judge another. Let's invite in not only compassion and understanding, and of course, that energy of holding clear parameters or is in reverence to that light and to the soul. But let's also be beacons of grace for anywhere where the light has been dimmed, where suffering is happening at any level. And I'll define suffering as being unaware of the grace of the divine. And where is it that you can be a beacon for those who may not be seeing the light at this particular time? Where can you be an ambassador? Again, a peacemaker and peacekeeper of truth for anybody who's denying that within themselves. And then where can we be in celebration that we're living in this truth? Because if you're carrying the awareness and the intelligence of that, do you understand how glorious it is to be in this world? Can you understand the intimacy that you have with source energy that you can hold that steady? Is like, who are you to have that type of relationship, to know it so well? Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Rejoice, celebrate, laugh, sing, be merry, for you and the kingdom are one. That home that we've been looking for the whole time that we've been here. And we have glimpsed it through experiences and relationship with others. But the core of it, the root of it, is living right there inside of you. And if you can carry the harmonic of what I'm speaking on this call more often than not, if you can carry it 51% of the time, then your capacity to live in the glory of it is profound. And it keeps building, and it keeps building. And if you ever acknowledge that you're not carrying it, that you're going into lower vibrational tones, just ask yourself, wait, what will it take for me to teeter the scale towards that 51%? That's the only ask. I'm not worried about getting to 70 or 80 or 100%. Just the 51%. Tip the scale. And I'd say most of y'all have already tipped the scale in so many different ways, but sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Or sometimes something just provokes a quick drop, or may feel that way. And just bring yourself back and just gauge, weigh the differences, and bring yourself back just to that edge and live in celebration that you're capable of doing that. be in devotion to that 51%. How many of y'all, and maybe you can raise your hands or say it out loud. I dropped something that I want to play with y'all in a second, excuse me. How many of y'all, and it could be a tough question, but I'm curious, um, can say that you're devoted to something in your life? Jillian, beautiful. Carlotta, nice. Karen, Mary. Maybe y'all can type in, what are you devoted to? Julie. Julie's on a mission. Oh my God, I'll share with y'all soon something that Julie's creating that she invited me to participate in. Um, Julie, maybe you can come on a little bit and share, but not right now. And if you're open to it, um, anybody typing in what they're devoted to? I'll be honest, I go in and out of my devotions consistently. Let me take that back. I don't feel that I'm consistent with my devotion all the time. I feel like I'm in and out at different times. That sometimes I'll be provoked and I'm missing something and I get off, I forget. I get distracted. I start getting in my mind in to-do mode, into achieving, or I start going through periods where my energy dips and I'm slumping and I'm focused on my physicality. Um, and I focus there. So the consistency, the practice of being in my awareness of cultivating and honoring that devotion, it tends to go in and out sometimes. Y'all wrote on here, Carlotta, my family. Ah, beautiful Carlotta. I do know that about you, yes. The light, my family, myself. Beautiful. Healing myself from chronic illness. Beautiful, Karen. Holding the light from Lori. Bringing light and happiness to where I'm at. And if y'all can share also in the chat, or if someone wants to raise their hand and unmute themselves, um, what's your devotional practice to cultivate what you're devoted to? Do you have a practice that allows you to amplify and strengthen that devotion? How is that demonstrated through you? And that's a tougher question. And not meant to put you on the hook, but to be curious about how it is that you are choosing to flex that muscle even more strongly because you're capable of it. And I'm going to pull up the definition of devotion because that's the two words that have been coming up very strongly for me over the last month that I've been in practice with for both grace and devotion. And there's an energetic output that we build upon when we're truly devoted to something. When our energy is so in alignment with that, that we can't help but to show up for that consistently. My mother was devoted to her sons with such devotion that she would pray for us every day, her whole life. Every day, it's a prayer for her sons. A little codependence, but still a lot of devotion. Um, and so much so, it's her devotion that I actually had a medium, um, a psychic channel read for me, amazing medium. He came on, he knew my mom's name, he knew dad's name, and they're not common names at all. They're, as a matter of fact, extremely obscure. He knew exactly where they were from. I didn't say a word. It was absolutely amazing. And he looks at me, he goes, and your mom wants you to know that she's still praying for you every day. There's no way he'd know that. He could know that. But that was part of her devotion, um, which is so beautiful. And she gave from what she had. Again, this outpouring of her love. Mom didn't have much, but her love and her time of being in stillness and amplifying an energy of that to her sons was profound. She gave from the richness of her love with interest, which is amazing. And again, I've learned so much from that as I reflect on that as I get older and since she's transitioned, and have such a beautiful appreciation for her capacity to show up so consistently. So, Lori, many things. It's not one thing fits all. Meditation, visualizations, mantras, journaling, music. Beautiful, Lori. That's awesome. Um, Jillian, being peace and light and sharing that in Kundalini awakening to others, devotion and prayer to the energy of unconditional love, divine mother within and without. Beautiful, Jillian. And sometimes we're in acts of devotion on a consistent basis, but because it's so normalized, it's so consistent in our field, it's just something that we do. We don't even realize it's a devotional act. Julie, for you, I would say it's how you show up for the ascension and how you keep showing up, want to be a service and create something new and create something on top of that and create something on top of that and another possibility on top of that. And a devotion to an amplification of a light quotient that reveals the truth and freedom that gets engendered through that curiosity and the awareness that as you grow, you can't help but to share your growth with others. And then the different ways of doing that. But again, let me find the definition of devotion. April, I would have asked, or Chris, I would have asked you to look for it, but too late. I'm going to pull it up. Devotion. Here we go. Um, and after I get through this devotional part, I was guided to pull cards for you all today. So anybody who wants a card pulled with an interpretation, I think that could be really fun. Um, all right, let me read the definition of devotion, and I want to leave y'all in the devotional field, not just from a critical thinking understanding of it, but I want to invite you to feel that devotion churning as an energy in your heart and in your solar plexus, creating from that overflow of what you have. Like my mother gave. My mother didn't have a lot, but she had so much love to give from what she had, creating an overflow from what you have, that you're so devoted to that that it can't help but to outpour in service to others. It just happens. Your understanding of the potency of that love and of this heart resonance is your gift of service to the world, truly, and to your connection of the divine. You don't really have one without the other, because as you're in service to others, you're in service to the divine. As you're choosing to amplify your relationship with the divine, you can't help but to be of service to others. So even those of you who are looking to, like, what's my service? What do I do? What's my purpose? Drop into your stillness. Amplify that light that you have access to, no matter how little or big you believe it to be. But amplify whatever it is that you have access to. Realize the abundance that it truly is, and be in relationship with that. And let it feed and nurture this feeling of home, this feeling of acceptance, a feeling of love that exists for you, through you, in reference to the divine spark and beautiful entity that you are. Bring it home, let it churn. Feel the vibration of that devotion on a daily basis and let it reverberate so that anything that is out of alignment with that can't help but to crack open and rise to meet it. This is what you're doing in your service. This is what you get to do in your peacekeeping role and peace amplification role in your light and service to it. Okay, devotion. Oh, wait. Mary, taking care of my aging kitty and healing his pain. So sweet, Mary. Blessings to your kitty. Attention and service to my higher God self. Yes. Being in service to others. Yes. Especially the aging members in my community. Such a blessing. Such a blessing. And it's interesting, those of y'all who have had spouses who have transitioned. What do I do with all this love that I had and I directed towards a particular individual? I have so much, I don't know where to expend that energy in the way that I'm so accustomed to and comfortable with, and where I felt comfortable that it was received. Even if sometimes it wasn't, but that exchange was there. What do I do with this overflow? How can I re-identify where that gets directed? And Mary, again, what you wrote is such a beautiful redirection and allocation of assets, if you will, of how that energy is paying dividends for you and for others as you invest it in ways that perhaps you didn't before because you were so focused in a particular direction. Not that you didn't focus your love in another, but you found that you have the surplus all of a sudden. And so I say blessings and thank you to you dearly departed in the gift that was left for us of a little more of you that gets to be given to us. Such a beautiful act of unselfishness that we get to grow into, whether we realize it or not, as those that we love transition, go to another place and we feel like something has been taken from us. But at the same time, more space has been created through us for our ability to, again, expend that energy in ways that we have grown to know it, to understand it, to amplify it because of the dynamic, and then to put it out in new ways. And so on this Memorial Day, I honor the peacekeepers of our transition souls and loved ones as well. Devotion, yes, the definition of it. Love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person, activity, or a cause. Religious or worship or observance. And there's another definition I want to look up. That one seems a little too general for my intention on the call today. An act of prayer or private worship, usually used in plural. A religious exercise or practice other than a regular corporate. Here we go. The act of dedicating something to a cause or activity. The act of devoting. The fact or state of being ardently dedicated and loyal. And for our purpose today, I really want to put more energy into the act of dedicating something to a cause or an activity, or to a person, or to something that you're holding. Wherever it is that you're dedicating the energy to, again, feel your why of why you're dedicating it. What is it that you're for that is the basis of this dedication? Be careful not to go into what it is that you're against. And that can serve really well sometimes. But I wanted to bring it back into a state of harmony for you so that you're amplifying your energy and not depleting and leaking energy. Eventually. Sometimes we have to have the contrasts so that we can say, you know what, I'm no longer doing this way. Sometimes we have to get into screw that, I'm not taking the abuse anymore and I'm doing something different. That energy of contrast has to be invited in to break down a structure that doesn't serve anymore so that we can build something new. And the propulsion that gets provided through a fit of rage, of anger, of being done, can be holy. Don't judge what may come through you, seeking that balance to come in, seeking something different than that which is keeping you drowning in the murky waters. Allow that strong energy to flow through you, but with the consciousness and awareness. That's the peacekeeper energy that's bringing it through. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're forming healthy boundaries of what can no longer be in your field. And then as you strengthen that within yourself, the devotion of what you're dedicated to carries a purity in its essence, where that which you're dedicated to, you're inviting into a pristine, crystalline state of possibility, rather than inviting it back into a war with you so another bigger war can be created. You don't teach your children to defend themselves so then they can become the bully at school or get into fights all the time. You teach them how to stand up for themselves so that they don't have to worry about the bully, about someone taking advantage of them, so that they can live in harmony and creation without the fear of something or someone forcefully taking it away from them, diminishing the light within them, turning them down for the sake of its own agenda. No, we teach our sons and daughter how to stand in their light firmly. But as they stand in that, and y'all have witnessed this, the kids, and it's probably your children, and you've probably done this, that once you stand in your own light, you can't help but to become the peacemaker wherever you see that justice is not prevailing. You come to be of service and you show up for it everywhere. You show up for it everywhere. Excuse me as I'm not enunciating correctly. So rejoice in what you're devoted to as well. What a beautiful gift of purpose that we have been given so that we may have a sense of purpose in this life. For those of you who wrote in with the awareness of your devotion, if you're ever questioning what you're here to do or what your purpose is, the fact that you know what you're devoted to in that way, it's just a clear indication that you're walking it. Sometimes that love that you have is so much that you want to put it out in so many other places, you don't know what else to do with it. But just keep putting it in those places that you're aware of, and also put it directly in your connection with the divine. Take time and allow the devotion of the divine to you to serve you. Because if you're given the capacity to be devoted to something, where did you learn that from? Where did that come from? What's inspiring that? It's because you're the beneficiary of devotion being streamed towards you. You're not separate from it. You're a byproduct of the gift that you're being given. And from that, you can't help but to give from that overflow. Learn to receive and acknowledge more of it. There's floodgates of it waiting for you as you take the time to sit in silence and just receive. Let it drown you in its perfection. All right, y'all. Who wants a card read? Who wants a card read? All right, let's go through it. Julie, I saw you first, so we're going to start with you. Julie, before we start, can you share a little bit about what your current devotion's in as far as the projects that you're working on? It's so cool.
Yay, I would love to. Yeah, so one of the initiatives is a New Earth Children Roundtable, where we are having children gather in a virtual roundtable as well as a live roundtable on Big Island in Hawaii. And they're going to dress up in their favorite costumes, and they're going to talk about what they envision the future of education to feel like and look like and be like for them. And yeah, my devotion, and I love how you share the story about your mother praying for you. Can't even talk about this without crying.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Take your time. Yeah.
So my devotion is for the children and for the new earth. And this is where that convergence comes from, the New Earth Children Roundtable. And there's going to be a retreat that I'm hosting. I got the download for this retreat literally like a month ago. And I just start like putting all these pieces together for these kids to come together in Big Island. And it was very specific, like a part of Big Island where these Lemurian stargates are and these dragons that are ready to be activated. And so I'm getting these children to come together, and we're going to gather. Not only we're going to put together this round table for them, which we be filming, but also for these kids to come together and do grid work together. They're going to lead one another. They're going to guide each other, and they're going to do, creative things, intuitive things, but for them to really shine in their gifts. And yeah, so my devotion, it came really sparked from my child. When I look into like, really what is on the side, I'm also an estate planning attorney. So I plan people's like legacy all the time. And I talk about like what they want to give to their children. And when I focus on what I really want to bring to my child and what came through is that my child can never be fully happy unless all children on this planet are fully happy. And yeah, so all of that. And John is going to be one of our presenters around on this roundtable as well. So I'm very honored to have him there. And yeah,
I was meeting with a consultant, that's someone that I check in with on business things and other things every once in a while. And she was reading for me, and again, she's very intuitive. It's a intuitive business and kind of life facilitation. Um, and I'm on a Zoom call, and she looks at me, she goes, whatever it is that you're doing with the kids, that's a priority. Say yes to everything. So we'll talk later, Julie. Just say yes. You're gonna be presented other opportunities that may seem bigger or other things, and that they're like, no, you're doing the kids things. That's the priority. It's like whatever's showing up with kids that's happening this summer, you need to say yes to that. It's bigger than what you anticipate. It's not that it wouldn't be big, and I anticipated that I'm only going to participate because it's big. But I love that she tuned into it because Julie and I had already sparked the conversation about it. And I knew that it was going to be evolving in its format and what's being created. So it's exciting what's being put together. And Julie, thank you for following your devotion and the calling and listening. And it's y'all can see by the demonstration of the emotional charge, this beauty that's being carried of someone who's tuned into a spark that's encouraging them to create something, not only in service to others, but Julie, obviously there's something awakening within you, or it's and the release of overflow. Like sometimes we have all this love pent up, we don't even know it, and it's just the that we get to release the valve and put it and drive it in a particular direction is the floodgates can open. And to have a place where our love and our wisdom can be received in service to others, it's something that many of us wish we had when we were growing up in different ways, where our mothers and fathers couldn't receive our love or understand it, whether it was a particular loved one, or whether even we thought God couldn't receive our love and then understand us and betrayed us, whatever it is. But that valve release when we're in devotion and put that out there, I'd say that's one of those initiations that's given to us. You have so much pent up. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? And when we know that we're on path, there's a spark. It's like, wait, hold on a second. I'm on the right trail here. When our action of what we want to create is meant with that emotional charge of gratitude. So beautiful. Julie, as you were speaking, I pulled a card for you.
Yeah.
And I got the sun. Can you see? I got the sun. So I'm going to read you the sun. And I'm not going to interpret too much. I'm just going to let you all sit with the message. Because man, I love interpreting these. But still, the message is for y'all. So I'll be a little more subdued so we can get through a lot of these also. So the sun is a gentle message of this key. It connects directly to your heart, the sun of the body, and replenishes your life with warmth and radiance. When its light shines through, all avenues of personal fulfillment and success are imbued with abundance as the universe supports and nurtures your path. Beautiful. This positive energy also amplifies your inner strength. As your optimism and joy have come to a peak, you realize the underlying current of love that serves your highest self, and you're excelling in new and vibrant ways. When you resonate with this high vibration, it is only natural that more light will shine down upon you and the ones you love. Bask in this healing, transformational energy. It has guided you this far. Time to pour all of your enthusiasm and vitality into your dreams. How perfect is that? Blessings, Julie. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Mary, let's pull a card for you. Can you unmute yourself so I can tune into you a little bit more? Not that I'm not tuned into you, but you know.
Sure.
We can have more of Mary if we want it. All right, Mary, let's see. I'm just gonna pull a card, y'all. I'm gonna guide all this. Huh. For you, we got the Two of Cups. And y'all write down what you received. Feel free to look it up, Google it, what it means for y'all also, as you get other interpretations that resonate for you. Um, and you'll know exactly. You'll know exactly what feels right and allow it to guide you in different ways. Um, I do have to say, y'all, as I'm pulling these cards, um, I have a relationship with oracle decks of being able to pick in a vibrational tone with extreme accuracy what's coming through. So it's quite fascinating. So that's really be curious about the message that's coming through for you, even if it seems a little off. So the Two of Cups is a powerful window into the mechanics of our heart. This card speaks of partnerships, love, and mutual connections with others. Are you forming new friendships?
Yes.
That's I'm getting the chills. There's something important in a new friendship that's coming through or that you have. There's like this, it's like really, I'll just say it's beautiful. Again, I was trying not to get into interpretations, but I couldn't help but
Thank
to
you. Wow,
feel
that's
that.
really deep. Yeah.
Yeah, the Two of Cups is also a card of new beginnings that shift our view of the world. When building romance, cast a haze, a rosy light around us. And that romance can happen in different ways, by the way. I said I wasn't going to interpret, but I have to. This may indicate an early phase when two people first meet, lost in a wave of infatuation and longing. It's a dreamlike state where the foreseeable path may not be so clear as we lose sight of our personal goals or ambitions along the way. On another note, the Two of Cups can represent the emergence and importance of self love, learning the difference between projecting our need for love onto others as opposed to heartfelt connections that nourish and balance independence. This card may also illuminate the need for compromise or for a choice to be made in order to arrive at a comfortable evolution between two people or opposing forces. I tell you, it's probably the other two and not the last. But there you go, Mary. Blessings to you.
Wow. That hits right smack in the dab of some of the stuff that I've been really going through recently. So wow, thank you.
Open, receive, receive, receive. Really sit in meditation and just your mantra is I'm open to receive. 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 And let it pour through you. And maybe it's slower than that. I'm open to receive in silence. Right? You pick your pace. All right, who else wants a card pulled? Carlotta. All right, we'll go to Carlotta, Jillian, Heather. If y'all can raise your hand in the chat box, that would help me. Karen, you want one also? Let's just be helpful. All right, Carlotta. Carlotta in your blue. Carlotta, the Four of Wands. What a beautiful card.
Mm.
By the way, y'all, I'm using the Moonchild Tarot deck. If you're interested, it's a beautiful deck. I've had it for a while. I haven't been guided to pick up tarot cards in months, and today I was like, get the cards. It's like, okay. So it's, which for me feels really wonderful actually, and thank y'all for playing with me in this, because as I mentioned on another call, if y'all were here, you might remember the conversation. If you weren't, um, over the last few months, I've have felt like this disconnection with source or energy or the way that I tap in. You know, whenever I show up in particular conversation, different ways, it's always right there. It's like, boom, and it just kind of opens up. But I felt like a shift in it, and not the type of connection that I'm used to. Like my heart maybe like closed off to it
Mm.
different ways, and my maybe my mind assimilating more with embodying and acting rather than receiving all the time. Um, but today with y'all, it feels like something's opening, and the fluidity of that channel and that stream is it's enlivening again. So again, thank you all for this opportunity. So Carlotta, the Four of Wands, this can initiate you into a period of harmony and bliss that celebrates the fruits of your labor and the sweet, sweet times. Uh, Perhaps you're being called to rest your energies after enduring a phase of prolonged instability. As there is much to look forward to, give yourself permission to replenish your inner reserves and play a little too.
Mm.
With the outpouring of positivity and joy, it is an ideal time to organize celebratory gatherings. God knows you've celebrated so much last month with family members or loved ones. Oh my God, that's so funny. An emergence of peace and happiness is on the horizon, and you understand the process and rewards of working hard towards your goals. You're able to nurture your loving relationship with others and bring wisdom and abundance into the lives of the people around you. After everything you've been through, your priorities shine clear and true. Ah, what a beautiful blessing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Karen, did I see you have your hand up? Okay, let's go to Karen now. And Jillian, we'll go. And Heather, we'll go. And again, if y'all can raise your hands, okay, Lori will go too. But again, if you can raise, I think I'll just probably do everybody on the call. Um, Heather, we got you too. Karen. Okay. You have a great smile, Karen.
Oh, thank
So
you.
good. Huh. So to give y'all a sense into my process, I just kind of feel the top of the cards, and my body is like pings really loudly. It's like something spikes through me as I pick a card. Um, Interesting card. This is the Five of Swords. I remember when I was living in Fairfax in Northern California, I had this other deck, and it was kind of a dark deck. And I'd pull these cards. I was like, God, I don't want that card. God, I don't want that card. God, and that was consistent. Um, and it felt like I want a nice message. But it was actually so wonderful in hindsight, the messages I kept getting. They were really helping to facilitate and strengthen something within me, and to amplify a truth of what was flowing through rather than bypass it with something rosy just because it was going to make me feel better at the time. Um, and the Five of Swords seems like a gloomy card, but it actually isn't. So let's get into it. Um, the Five of Swords. All right, Karen. The Five of Swords reflects self-inflicted energies that keep us stagnant in a place of negativity or loss. Through conflict, disagreements, or impulsive behavior, there has been an involuntary burdening on yourself or others. This card highlights pointless winning and needing to be right regardless of the outcome, and comes at the high cost that may alienate others. It's important to step back and take a look at the bigger picture. Put everything into perspective and realize where your true priorities and values lie. And I feel like that's like the message there for you. Where do your true priorities and values lie? And really having a fruits like this come to Jesus moments, like, what am I devoted to in my values and priorities?
Yes.
That's my interpretation I'm gonna give you. Um, Put everything into perspective and realize where your true priorities and values lie. Are your opinions and views more important than your relationships? How are you affecting other people? Is your ambition coming from a place of love or fear? How can your words and actions transform this difficult situation into a positive light?
It resonates very much.
Wow, I just got the
The,
chills.
the whole thing. Yes.
Wow. Wow. All
Going through a
right.
lot of challenges of unconditional self-love. I have conditional love, but not unconditional. So, yeah, working a lot on that. And it does affect other people around me. So that's right on.
Beautiful. I would encourage you again, to sit in quiet meditation, quiet contemplation. If you want music to guide you to evoke receptivity, then beautiful. But just sit in quietness and ask to be shown. Ask that you feel what self-love may feel like. Don't think you know it and that you're creating it. Really go to the place of not knowing any aspect of self-love and what that is supposed to mean. Let it all go. Because it's the structures that are keeping us in boxes that we're trying to get out of.
Mhm.
And just sit in the, I have no idea what self-love is. Show me.
Mhm.
Show me. And just sit quiet and allow it to come to you without you having to do a damn thing about it.
And just be okay being vulnerable.
Being okay with your mind going 100 miles an hour, being okay with anger and dark energies coming in, being okay of not being able to sit for longer than 3 minutes, or be okay sitting in a quiet space for 2 hours just because you're in the space and you are. Be okay not knowing and be okay in the perfection of what's happening without you having to guide it or control it. And just be innocent.
Mhm.
Be devoted to that space of innocence. All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Okay, Lori, let's go to you now. I always love your window in the background. It's like I can only imagine what your view is. Amazing.
Thank you. It is beautiful.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
What a gift. Thank you for that.
It is nice. Thank you.
I know yours is like, I want to see. I'm glad I asked finally. All right, Lori. Are you traveling soon?
Um, just a little tiny ways on Wednesday. Yes.
No, you have a big trip coming.
I
Okay,
do.
hasn't come. Huh, interesting.
I would like to. I don't have anything planned, but I would like to. I've got my feelers out.
I have to ask. Sorry, y'all. Is Peru calling you again?
Oh my gosh, I would love to.
I
Yeah,
feel Peru in you strongly.
it's my home.
I feel you. Wow.
Love it. Yes.
Be open.
No
Be open.
plans. Mm.
Not yet. You got the chariot.
Ooh.
Let's see. She's beautiful. The chariot. All right, y'all. And I really appreciate going through the cards also because it gives us a space to open up to different perspectives and tools that we can use. No matter if we're pulling for someone else, it's like there's so many treasures that are available to us about how we can direct energy, come to reconciliation, open to what else is possible. So I think it was a good call by the guides to pull the cards today. So the chariot, the chariot invites us on a powerful journey. I need new glasses, by the way, y'all. So I'm just saying. The chariot invites us on a powerful journey. Funny, I was talking about journeys. It's so weird. Okay. Not weird. It's so perfect. Um, Offering us new reins to steer towards our future. The course can be filled with endless possibilities, uncharted paths, potential gains, and shiny opportunities along the way. But at the heart of this card, we are asked to discern the values by which we navigate the world. Are we driven by our notions of success? Or are we exploring the depths of what really makes us happy and fulfilled? It's such a beautiful invitation for you. When you connect back to what your soul truly wants, the momentum of your success may open new doorways, allowing you to forge ahead with confidence and purpose. The clarity is a sweet gift that many of us forget to relish and nurture. When it shows up in those shimmering bursts of motivation, don't forget to soak them in and follow their lead. You're being called, and you're being called to really listen to your soul's guidance, um, and to not plan these based on what you're, but it's like this, Your soul wants to go on a journey with you. It's, again, I wouldn't be surprised that you have a big trip coming up soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So amazing. All right, Heather Day, let's go to you.
Thank you.
Ah, another beautiful smile. Heather, Heather, Heather. Huh. I'm guided to tell you that rainy season's over.
Good.
Yeah, rainy season's over. And I'm also guided to tell you that you knew rainy season was coming. It was there. You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
You prepared. You're fine. Trust yourself. When rainy season comes, you know where the umbrella is, you know what the coats are, you know what the galoshes are. You got it. But rainy season's over. Open the doors and open the windows and allow the sun to come in. Even if it sprinkles a little bit.
Mm.
Go play out in the rain. Okay. Ooh. You have the Six of Cups. Let's see what they have to say about the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a sentimental doorway into the stories of our past. It tends to show up during those quiet moments of nostalgia that take us back in time. Sometimes they can trigger overwhelming emotions that rise to the surface, whether through reflecting on incredible moments of our childhood or the underlying pains that linger within us. The card invites us to dive deep within such memories, to seek out their greater implications and underlying energies. As we are living records of every thought and feeling we have ever experienced, it's also important to remember the inner child who still exists within you now. The Six of Cups may also reflect a period of relaxation and success after finally transmuting any stress, and highlights the self-confidence that comes from speaking your truth.
Mm.
And trusting your intuition, new stories shine through. From here, you may see a new route to take form as the steps become softer and more inviting to your heart. I would invite you to trust the reconciliations that are happening within you towards any family members right now.
Mhm.
It's strong, and the inner child is healing because you're able to forgive and let go without the expectation of having to receive something in return, but rather through the acknowledgement of the self-love that's amplified through you and the grace that you carry by releasing others of the prisons that you inadvertently kept them in.
Mhm. Thank you.
Part of the four agreements: do not take anything personally.
Mm.
And this
Yeah.
is strongly coming in for you. Do
Mhm.
not take anything personally. Live your life, live your joy. The rain has cleared. Open the doors, open the windows. Go live, Heather. It's
Yeah.
time to live.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Blessings, blessings. Donna, you ready? All right, Donna. Donna, love and blessings.
By the way, I do have a blessing list that I work on daily after my prayers. I've done it for years. And so that's why love and blessings is so important to me.
And that's part of your devotional practice.
Yes.
Like my mom praying every day for us, your blessings list. It's such a beautiful.
Yes.
And I want to honor you and acknowledge you and hope that you remember also the devotional space that you're holding. Really, it's, again, we carry it so naturally sometimes. It just becomes part of us that we forget it's just who we are. But to acknowledge it, to self-acknowledge it, is so beautiful, and how wonderful that we get to witness and acknowledge you
Thank you.
in that sharing. Because how often do you have that conversation with family members or friends? What are you devoted to? What are you doing? Where do you get acknowledged for it? Not that we seek acknowledgement from doing it.
It's just a part of who I am.
Yeah. But again, the energy expenditure, the thought, the time, the commitment, the outpouring of it, it deserves recognition.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And we get gifted with that devotion on every call that you're on. Donna, your love is so beautiful. You got the hanged man. All
Oh,
right, let's read through it. See, it's like, what? The hanged man? I didn't get like the universe, the king of something, the queen of something. Every card is perfect. And it's meeting you in the perfection that you are right now. I think receiving challenging cards is also an indication of the strength that we're carrying during a particular moment and our capacity to navigate something that in other times we wouldn't be capable of navigating. So it's actually an acknowledgement of our light, of our strength, or those devotional energies carrying a momentum forward because we're ready to alter something that isn't of the higher vibration as an act of self-love, but also an act of receiving the love from the divine. So it's the challenge sometimes really indicates where you are on a soul level and that we're ready to break through something even more because we're capable in ways that we weren't before. So the hangman, if you're feeling as though you're standing at a crossroads, it may be the opportune time to fully absorb the direction or options that are being presented to you. And what I wanted to say when that came in, if you feel like you're standing at a crossroads, you are. Let's not pretend that we're not. If we're feeling that, okay. It's like, no, I just want to see the light. No, let's acknowledge where we are. And that's fine. How beautiful. What an amazing opportunity. I'm going to read that again, and I'm going to go through the rest of it. If you're feeling as though you're standing at a crossroads, it may be an opportune time to fully absorb the directions or options that are being presented. It could be that you need to let go of something or make some kind of sacrifice, which may initially leave you feeling vulnerable, raw, or exposed. Know that despite the sense of unease, this is a transitional phase in which you can recalibrate your beliefs, situation, or life goals. This key may also come as a result of those life-altering moments or experiences that have the potential to radically transform or shake your worldview. Connect back to the root of your intent and the inner pathways of your heart. Where do they want to lead you? Curious what message may be there for you, but I hope that you receive that with an open heart and that it serves you.
thank you so very much.
You're so welcome. Kelly, did you want a reading? Was that a sure or no or?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna pull a card for you. Awesome.
Okay.
I love your painting in the background.
Oh, thanks.
Did you paint that?
No, no.
So cool. What is it?
It's when I actually, I'm trying to think. It's a print by Susan Settlin Boulay, maybe?
Is
I
it a
don't know. I
Native
had found
American?
it in a, yeah, it's a Native American. It's actually really cool.
It's super cool.
Yeah. I found it in a used furniture store. And I was like,
Your
oh,
connection's a little
wow.
unstable. Oh, there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. We caught a glimpse of it, but I think that's all we needed.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly, your connection's a little unstable, so we're going in and out. So I'm gonna pull a card in.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It's interesting. Most of the cards I'm pulling from the top, or for you, Kelly, I'm going towards the bottom as I shuffled. So
Okay.
6 of Cups as well.
Really?
So I read the 6 of Cups earlier for someone else, but let's read it for you now.
Okay.
Was it for Heather that was the 6 of Cups? I can't remember who it was for.
I don't remember.
So the 6 of Cups is a sentimental doorway into the stories of our past. It tends to show up during those quiet moments of nostalgia. Yeah, it was the one for Heather. Of nostalgia that take us back in time. Sometimes they can trigger overwhelming emotions that rise to the surface, whether through reflecting on the incredible moments of our childhood or the underlying pains that linger on. Y'all listen to this, everybody on the call, because I have a this isn't a mistake that it got pulled up twice. And I shuffled a lot. And there is 84 cards in this deck. So I'm actually going to start over because I want all of us to receive this. And Kelly, thank you for this. The 6 of Cups is a sentimental doorway into the stories of our past. It tends to show up during those quiet moments of nostalgia to take us back in time. Sometimes they can trigger overwhelming emotions that rise to the surface, whether through reflecting on the incredible moments of our childhood or their underlying pains that linger on. This card invites us to dive deep within such moments to seek out their greater implications and underlying energies. As we are living records of every thought and feeling we have experienced, it's also important to remember the inner child who will exist and still exists within you. And I think this is a really important sentence for all of us as we carry collective consciousness and put that into the field for one another to receive. That we are living records of everything that we've experienced. And our interpretation of those experiences have dramatic impact not only on our daily lives, but the ripples that get created through the energy that we emit through our actions and deeds, our thoughts, our emotions, what we create in our lives. So again, to bring in that peacemaker energy is something that we're being invited to. Because you are holding higher standards for the light that you're emanating. The bar has been way too low for far too long. And it's time to raise it to levels of grand proportion. If the world record height was X, we're being asked to go above that and hold that as the next standard. To give us something to rise towards instead of something that we just acquiesce down to. It's easy to go down. It's easy to give up on our potential. It's easy to say, maybe tomorrow. But to hold in dignity and in righteousness, the reverence in which you are to be held, that's an act of devotion that I invite you all into. So let me keep reading. The card invites us to dive deep within such memories to seek out their greater implications and underlying energies. As we are living records of every thought and feeling we have experienced, it's also important to remember the inner child who still exists within you now. The 6 of Cups may also reflect the period of relaxation and success after finally transmuting any stress. That feels like that's appropriate for you. Hope I'm not projecting, but it just feels right. And it highlights the self-confidence that comes from speaking your truth. And trusting your intuition, new stories shine through. From here, you may see a new route take form as the steps become softer and more inviting to your heart. So that part of the message is for you, Kelly. Thanks for allowing me to
Yeah.
read for you. Yeah, blessings.
Thank you.
All right. Who else do we have on the call? Jillian. I have not forgotten about you. There we go. All right. We're ending with Jillian today on the cards. And I know some of y'all have booked sessions with Jillian, anchoring in that Kundalini energy or activation and light's quotient that is ready to be accessed through you now. Jillian, Jillian, Jillian. What a blessing of love that you are. I'm guided to tell you that your devotion to love, your devotion to serve, to direct that devotion to you, to the inner self. All that you've given out without question. To let that fill you now, to guide you without question, to love you without question, to make you the priority.
Wow.
That was your initiation so that you can learn how to direct that energy back into self. Your teacher was teaching you how to be devoted to the love within you.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow is right. I got the chills. What an amazing teacher she is. All this time you thought you were serving her and her mission. Did she have something in store for you?
Well, that's interesting because it's been more and more like the desire to touch my own divinity.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we can really, we can't really understand the divine in all its forms until we know the divine within ourselves, isn't it? Just like we can't have peace outside.
The only way to really understand that is to experience it.
Yeah.
To be with it. So beautiful. So today you're given the Knight of Cups.
The 9.
Knight.
Knight.
Like the centurion, but the Knight of Cups. It's a beautiful card. I think the Knight of Cups lives by his heart tremendously, but let me find him.
Just sunrise here.
Ah, beautiful. The Knight of Cups is one of the dreamiest cards of the tarot, embodying an aptitude for adventure and romance that flows directly from their heart. This person will always go above and beyond when it comes to fulfilling their loved one's needs. They can, however, become a bit obsessive or overly sensitive when placing too much thought or worry into the words or emotions from other people. Despite their sensitivity, they're extremely passionate, generous, and will always make decisions based on the whispers of their soul, whether their choices seem logical or not. Expect lots of passion, play, and adventure with this type. This key encourages us to trust the sensitive waters of our emotions and the intuitive wisdom that strengthens and nurtures our biggest and brightest dreams. I'm going to read to you an inquiry for you and a couple of keywords for this. The Knight of Cups is artistic, adventure, enthusiasm, and positive news. And the questions for this are, how can I transmute my dreams into truth? And how can I explore my own passions and interests? So again, for me, it's about coming back to you. I believe you've been so devoted into the passion and interest of others. And in service to that, and how can you do it for yourself now? It's time.
Yeah,
and then that you can't help but to serve those as well. So it's got this yin yang beautiful balance to it. Jillian, thank you for receiving.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that message.
All right. Is there anybody else on the call? Anybody that I'm missing? I think
Sorry,
I got
I'm
everybody.
so dark.
That's all right. Yeah. No, I think I got everybody. Nobody on the chat. Tara was on the call, but we've missed Tara. She's gone. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for being on the call today. I want to send blessings and love to our dear brother Drew. I haven't spoken to him in a while. He's been going through treatments for cancer. And the last I spoke to him, he was getting good psychological and spiritual guidance as well as medical care. But wherever he is on his journey, just I'd like to send out my love and blessings and know that it's amplified through what we hold here together as well. So thank you all in supporting that blessing and putting
He's
out whatever
back on
flows
my
your boat.
list again. So
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Thank
love
you.
and blessings to everyone.
Yeah, love and blessings to everybody. Y'all, wonderful to be here. I look forward to seeing y'all next week. And again, until then, love and blessings. Y'all take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.